The Holy Quran isn't just a book of rules and stories. It's actually an open invitation to look around us and look inside ourselves. It asks us to think deeply about what it means to exist. Every verse that talks about creation is like a window into the Creator's amazing artistry. It tells us not to see the world as something that just happened by chance, but as a carefully made masterpiece. Mountains aren't just rocks, they're like pegs holding the earth in place. Rivers aren't just water, they're like lifelines flowing with God's kindness. This journey we're about to take is our answer to that special call from God. It's our humble try to listen to the quiet message the universe itself is giving, from the tiniest atom to the biggest galaxy. Look up at the sky on a clear night. Every star shows incredible power. Every planet follows a perfect path, like a dance in the sky that's planned out perfectly. The Quran tells us that God made the heavens and the earth in 6 days. This doesn't mean 6 regular 24-hour days, but a very long time, like a huge period of shaping the universe. This idea alone connects old religious writings with modern science about the universe. It talks about a slow, careful process. The universe didn't just pop into existence. It was built layer by layer with wisdom and a plan. This is the first lesson. Creation is a story of patience, power, and being super precise. Think about the perfect balance we see every day. The sun rises and sets at the exact same time, always. The seasons change, bringing cycles of life, death, and new beginnings. This harmony is a sign for those who think deeply. The Quran repeatedly asks us to use our brains, to observe, to think. It challenges us. Do they not look at the camels, how they are created? And at the sky, how it is raised? And at the mountains, how they are fixed? And at the earth, how it is spread out? These aren't just questions that don't need an answer. They are like keys meant to unlock a deeper understanding and appreciation of the Creator's amazing art. Our journey today is about following these signs. We will travel from the darkness of the womb to the vastness of outer space. We'll see how modern science, far from disproving faith, often becomes a powerful lens through which we can see the wonders of the Quran more clearly. It's a journey for both the heart and the mind, meant to move us from just believing passively to actively and respectfully worshipping. Let's open our hearts to the evidence, not just in the holy book, but in the world that book describes, and feel closer to the source of all creation, the all-powerful. The story of humankind doesn't start on a big cosmic stage, but in one of the most private and hidden places, inside a mother's womb. The Quran talks about this journey with amazing detail. It says that humans are made from a resting drop of fluid and placed in a safe, steady spot. This description of the embryo settling into the womb's wall is a perfect, simple way to describe implantation. A biological fact that wasn't known for centuries after the Quran was revealed. It's the first step of a wonderful change, a process so complex that it clearly points to a master designer who watches over every single part with endless care and precision. From this single drop, the Quran describes the next stages. It mentions the alaka, a word that can mean leech-like or clinging clot. When we look at modern embryology, we see how the early embryo sticks to the wall of the womb and gets food, just like a leech. It's a striking visual and functional parallel. Then it becomes a mugga, a chewed-like lump. Pictures of the somites, which form along the embryo's back at this stage, look exactly like tooth marks on a piece of chewed substance. How could a book that is 1400 years old describe these stages with such scientific accuracy, long before microscopes or ultrasound technology were invented? The wonder continues with bones forming and then being covered with flesh. This order, clearly mentioned in the Quran, is also confirmed by modern embryology. The skeleton develops first, and then muscles and flesh cover it. This isn't an obvious order. You might think that flesh and bones would grow at the same time. But the Quran stated the correct order centuries ago. It's proof of knowledge that was beyond human observation at that time. It's a sign that the one who revealed the book is the same one who designed the process. orchestrating this beautiful and complex symphony of life in the darkness of the womb. This journey from a tiny drop to a fully developed human, complete with hearing, sight, and a beating heart, is the most personal miracle we can experience. The Quran says, "And He gave you hearing and sight and hearts so that you may be grateful." Each of us has taken this journey. We are the living, breathing proof of this divine craftsmanship. Thinking about our own creation isn't just a science lesson, it's a deeply spiritual one. It should fill us with humility and thankfulness, making us realize that our existence is a purposeful, precious gift from a creator who's both all-powerful and all-knowing. Let's now go back in time to the very beginning of the universe itself. Modern science calls this moment the Big Bang. It describes a universe that came from an incredibly tiny, hot and dense point called a singularity. Before this moment, there was no space, no time, no matter. The Quran talks about something very similar. It says, "Have those who don't believe not seen that the heavens and the earth were joined together, and we separated them?" The word means a single, sewn together mass, a united whole. The word means we tore them apart, we split them, we separated them. This verse is a powerful and clear description of how the universe came to be. The universe, with all its stars and galaxies, was once one single thing. Then there was a big split, an explosive separation, which created space and time as we know them. This picture from the Quran, revealed in the middle of the Arabian desert, matches up perfectly with the discovery of the Big Bang theory in the 20th century. It wasn't a guess, it was a revelation. It tells us that the universe had a definite start, a point of creation, which goes against the idea of an eternal, unchanging universe that was once a popular scientific belief. The Quran doesn't stop there. It gives another clue about the early state of the universe. In another verse, it describes the heavens as, which means smoke. We'll look at this more closely later, but it's important to mention here. This smoke perfectly describes the very first state of the universe, a hot, cloudy mist of plasma, hydrogen, and helium gas, mixed with tiny dust particles. Before stars lit up and light could travel freely, the universe was a hazy, smoky expanse. This is a detail that no human in the 7th century could have known or imagined. So when we look at the sky, we're not just seeing distant lights, we're looking back in time. We're seeing the echoes of that first big separation. The Quran invites us to see this not as random chance, but as a planned act of creation by a unique, powerful will. The splitting of the heavens and the earth was the first command in the history of our universe. Let there be light. It was the moment the cosmic clock started ticking, the moment the great story of existence began to unfold, all by the command of the one who says, "Be," and it is. The story of creation didn't end with the Big Bang. In fact, it was just the beginning of a dynamic and ongoing process. One of the most amazing discoveries in modern astronomy over the last century was that the universe is not still, it's getting bigger. Galaxies are moving away from each other at incredible speeds, stretching the fabric of space and time like a balloon blowing up. This idea was completely new to how scientists thought over 100 years ago. And yet, the Quran announced this truth with amazing clarity and simplicity. "And the heaven we constructed with strength, and indeed we are its expander." The Arabic word comes from the root, which means to make wide or spread out. The specific grammar used in the verse means that the expanding is active, continuous, and still happening. It doesn't say the universe was expanded, but that we are indeed expanding it. This is a very exact description of what Edwin Hubble found out about the universe in the 1920s. He saw that the light from far-off galaxies was shifted towards the red end of the light spectrum. This is called redshift, and it proved that they were moving away from us. The universe is getting bigger every second. This cosmic expansion isn't random. It happens at a very precise rate. If the expansion were too fast, gravity would have been too weak to pull matter together to form stars and galaxies. Life would have been impossible. If it were too slow, the universe would have collapsed in on itself in a big crunch soon after it was born. The exact rate of expansion is one of the biggest mysteries in the study of the universe, a problem of fine-tuning that points to an incredible level of design. The Quran statement is not just scientifically correct. It hints at the power and control behind this grand process, a process that is both mighty and delicate. Every time we look at the night sky, we see a snapshot of this grand, expanding canvas. We are part of a universe that is still being painted, still being spread out by its creator. This understanding should fill us with a sense of wonder and excitement. We are not living in a finished, still museum. We are part of a living, growing creation. The Quranic verse invites us to lift our eyes and minds beyond our small world and appreciate the sheer size and ongoing beauty of the divine project that we are lucky enough to be a part of. It's a reminder of the endless power of the one who built the heavens and continues to expand them. So let's dive deeper into the childhood of our universe. Right after the Big Bang, the universe wasn't empty and clear like we see it today. It was a turbulent, hot, and extremely dark place. Modern physics tells us it was a superheated soup of early particles, a plasma that light couldn't freely travel through. Over hundreds of thousands of years, it slowly cooled down, turning into a huge cloud of hydrogen and helium gas with tiny bits of dust. Scientists call this time the cosmic dark ages, and the Quran uses one powerful and very clear word to describe this state: smoke. Allah the Most High says, "Then he directed himself to the heaven while it was smoke and said to it and to the earth, 'Come into being, willingly or unwillingly.' They both said, 'We have come willingly.'" This description is truly amazing from a scientific point of view, because smoke is actually a perfect way to describe hot gas that has tiny solid bits floating in it. And that's exactly what the early universe was, a mix of hot gases and tiny dust particles. It was a thick, cloudy fog from which the first stars and galaxies would eventually form. It was a state of cosmic potential, a raw material waiting for the next step of God's command. The choice of the word smoke is remarkable. No human in the 7th century could have known about this smoky early state of the universe, because the smoke they knew was just what came from a fire. Yet, the Quran here talks about the entire heaven, the entire universe as smoke. This knowledge could only have come from the Creator himself, the only one who saw that first cosmic dawn. It's a precise scientific wonder that waited for centuries to be understood in the light of modern discoveries about the universe. And the verse also adds a beautiful spiritual meaning. God speaks to this smoky newborn universe, and it answers willingly. This way of talking about the heavens and the earth suggests that the whole universe is under the will of its creator. The physical laws that guided the formation of galaxies and stars from this cosmic smoke are basically a sign of this willing obedience to God's command. It shows a universe that isn't just a machine, but an active creation that was brought into beautiful order from chaotic, smoky beginnings by a word from Almighty God. After exploring the vastness of space, let's bring our focus back to our planet, our home. Earth is a fragile oasis of life in a harsh and unforgiving universe. It's constantly hit by deadly solar radiation, cosmic rays from far-off supernovas, and a never-ending stream of meteorites. Yet we live on its surface, usually without even feeling these dangers. Why? Because we live under a shield. The Quran points to this divine protection with a beautiful and deep comparison. "And we made the sky a protected roof, yet they turn away from its signs." This protected roof isn't a solid dome, but a layered active defense system. The first layer is Earth's magnetic field, the magnetosphere. This invisible field, made by Earth's melted iron core, pushes away the solar wind, which is a stream of charged particles from the sun. Without it, our atmosphere would be stripped away and our oceans would boil. It's a quiet, powerful protector and a true sign of divine care. Without it, life on Earth wouldn't be possible, and our planet would be a barren rock like Mars. The second layer of this roof is the atmosphere itself. The ozone layer in the stratosphere soaks up harmful ultraviolet rays from the sun, which can cause cancer and destroy DNA. The atmosphere also acts as a physical shield. millions of meteors and space junk enter our atmosphere every day. Most are small, but even small rocks traveling at super fast speeds carry a huge amount of energy. The atmosphere makes them burn up due to friction, so we get to see the beautiful show of shooting stars instead of a deadly rain of cosmic bullets. This is the protected roof in action, and the verse ends with a touching remark. Yet they turn away from its signs. We've gotten so used to this safety that we take it for granted. We forget to look up and appreciate the complex, perfectly designed systems that keep us safe every second of every day. The sky isn't just a blue surface, it's proof of careful planning and kind protection. It's a sign of a creator who not only made a world for us but also built an amazing shield to keep it safe. Thinking about this protected roof should make us feel safe, amazed, and very thankful. In the grand story of the cosmos, death is often a necessary step for life. We can see this clearly in the life cycle of stars. Our sun, and even our whole solar system, are what scientists call a second or third generation star. This means they formed from the leftover pieces of bigger, older stars that lived, then died, and spread their stuff across the galaxy. These giant stars were like cosmic ovens. Deep inside them, because of nuclear fusion, they made the heavy elements needed for life: carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and many others. And when these massive stars reached the end of their lives, they didn't just fade away. Instead, they exploded in amazing events called supernovae. These explosions are some of the most powerful things in the universe, and in just one flash, a supernova can shine brighter than an entire galaxy. And it was this huge explosion that spread the seeds of life throughout the universe. The carbon in our cells, the oxygen we breathe, the calcium in our bones, all of it was made in the heart of a star and then violently thrown into space. We are truly made of stardust. The death of the star was needed for us to be born. This amazing cycle between the death of stars and the birth of life is a deep example of God's wisdom and care. It shows a universe with a purpose, where even the most powerful events serve a creative goal. God didn't create a still universe with everything in place from the start. Instead, He designed a moving, changing system where creation and destruction lead to the right conditions for life. The Quran points to an organized and balanced universe. We have created all things with a measure, and this cosmic cycle is a wonderful example of that exact measure. Thinking about this fact connects us deeply and personally to the universe. The atoms that make up our bodies have traveled light years and through long ages, born in the heart of a dying star. This isn't just poetry, it's scientific fact. It's proof of a big, patient, and incredibly beautiful plan. It teaches us that there is no waste in God's plan. Destruction makes room for creation, and the end of one story is always the beginning of another, more complex story. The death of stars is the quiet, explosive proof of a creator who brings life from death. Among the elements forged in the hearts of dying stars, one stands out, holding a special place in our civilization and in the Quran: iron. Iron is the backbone of the modern world. It forms the structures of skyscrapers, the engines of cars, and the tools used to build societies. The Quran highlights the unique origin and huge importance of this element in a wonderful verse. And we sent down iron, in which there is mighty strength and benefits for mankind. The choice of words here is very precise and scientific. The verse used the word anzalna, we sent down, and not kalakna, we created, or akrajna minalad, we brought it forth from the earth. This points to an origin from outside of Earth. Modern science has confirmed this amazing fact. The energy needed to make iron atoms through nuclear fusion is huge, and our sun is not big or hot enough to make iron. In fact, all the iron on Earth wasn't made here but was forged in the furnaces of old massive stars. When these stars blew up as supernovae, they scattered iron into space. This iron then joined with the dust cloud from which our solar system and our planet came to be. Iron was indeed sent down to Earth from space. The fact that the Quran mentioned iron being sent down 14 centuries ago is an amazing scientific wonder. Humanity didn't know about this fact until the 20th century. How could Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, know that the iron we get from deep within the earth came from the heavens? This can only come from the one who watched over this cosmic process, who melted iron in the furnaces of the stars and then sent it into our world as a trust and a tool for humanity. The verse also points to the two sides of iron, mighty strength and benefits for mankind. That's a deep thought. The same element that makes swords and weapons can also be used to create plows, medical tools, and the buildings of civilization. This two-sided nature is a test for humanity. God has given us this powerful resource, but it's up to us whether we use it to build or to destroy, for good or for evil. The gift of iron is not just about stuff, but it's a moral duty that the Creator has given us. From the fire of the stars, we now turn to the element that puts out every fire, water. No talk about creation and life is complete without water. The Quran says with total clarity, "And we made from water every living thing." This simple but powerful verse explains a basic truth about biology. From the smallest living thing to the biggest whale, all life forms we know need water. Our own bodies are about 60% water. It's the main liquid that dissolves things, the way for all chemical reactions that keep us alive, the lifeblood of our planet. Without water, Earth would be as bare as the moon. The Quran also connects the start of the universe itself to water in an amazing way, by saying that Allah's throne was on water before the heavens and earth were made. Even though we don't fully understand what that means, it puts water at the very base of everything that exists. It's the first element, a symbol of being clean, kind, and life itself. Every raindrop is a sign of this kindness, bringing life to the dry earth and food to all living things. The water cycle, water turning into vapor, making clouds and raining down, is a full and connected system, made by a kind Lord. The Quran also talks about something in the ocean that was only recently understood. It describes the state of someone who doesn't believe as like darknesses in a deep sea covered by waves, above which are other waves, above which are again clouds. The mention of waves on top of waves is amazing. Ocean scientists have found that deep seas have inner waves that happen where layers of water with different densities meet. These waves can't be seen from the surface, but they are under the surface waves that we all know. They are huge and move slowly in the deep darkness. This exact description of two layers of waves, one on top of the other, is a sign for anyone who thinks about it. How could a person living in a desert area, with no experience of the deep ocean, describe something so precise and complex? It's proof of a divine source of knowledge that covers the whole universe, from the highest heavens to the deepest parts of the sea. And the picture of layers of darkness, clouds, surface waves, then deep waves, is a strong comparison for the layers of not knowing. But its scientific accuracy is a ray of light that shows the truth of the message.